I'm going to level with you. We do that a lot here. I look you deep in the windows to your soul, and I level with you. I tell you my deepest, darkest secrets. Things that my own mother doesn't even know, like the fact that I didn't run today, even though she definitely would have wanted me to run. I just know it somewhere in my soul. But guess what? I'm not running a marathon this year, so what if I just don't run? Okay? Who's going to do anything about me not running? This isn't the point. The other thing I wanted to level with you about is that I like trash talking. I do. I engaged in a lot of it myself over the years. I grew up playing pickup basketball and AAU basketball, and there's a big trash talking culture in that environment. I have been known to piss a few people off while hooping, probably because I'm the greatest hooper since Michael Jordan, but that's not the point. We're going to get into the GOAT debate another time. Okay? But I mean, I even took it to the point one time I got my nose broken by an elbow that may or may not have been related to the amount that I was dripping poison in this dude's ear. That's all right. We won the game. I also went home with a broken nose. So was it worth it? No, definitely not. But I'm telling you these stories to point out the fact that I'm generally on the side of the trash talking, and I know that. But I do think the reaction to this particular one is stupid, and I just don't necessarily understand it. And I don't know why self-respecting professional individuals would react in this way, because I feel like you're kind of showing how much it bothers you, right? This is in the top flight of Colombia, which is a big league, right? You can tell the number of people that are in the stands, right? This is a big league. It's a big match. It's one of the biggest teams. It's a team called Millonarios, okay? They are one of the biggest, they play in Copa Libertadores. They make it to the knockouts of Copa Libertadores, I believe. Although I don't remember the last time they did that. And they're playing against Santa Fe, Independiente Santa Fe. I've managed in Colombia before on Football Manager. And they're a good team too. But Millonarios at home, they're winning. 18 shots to 6, 63% possession. They completed over 400 passes in the match with 85% pass accuracy, which thank you, Google, for all of this fun info. It took an hour, but they found a couple of goals, clearly the better team, and they're winning. And that brings us to what is the 76th minute after the match has already become 2-0. And that's when this guy receives the ball on the wing. This is Nazer Villarreal. He is a starting forward player for this team, part of their front four. He gets the ball, and then he stands on it, right? Now, he's able to do this because the defender's not even the same area code with him. Clearly, that is because the defender is tired and or the defender does not want to deal with Nacer Villarreal's dribbling ability, his ability to take on an opponent. And so he just lets him stand on the ball, and then he passes it into the middle. And then all of a sudden, for some unknown, brain-dead reason, the referee stops the game. I'm going to let this play out just so you can get an idea of how stupid this is. He stands on the ball, passes it into the middle. The referee stops a promising attack in motion to give a yellow card to Nacer Villarreal for showboating. I mean, if you stand over the ball and you just like flip the birds, right, like at the other team, I could get that. Right? Maybe I get stopping the match there. But we are talking about a promising attacking position that the referee has literally run through the middle of because this dude stood on the ball. He didn't stand on the ball for 5 seconds and go, come on. He didn't stand on the ball, and it didn't even look like he said anything. He's just having fun. I thought this was South American football here. He stops the ball. He stands on it for a second. And to be perfectly honest, it kind of worked. Like, if you watch what the actual point of this move is from Nacer Villarreal, I don't mean to make him seem like he's some sort of over-the-top genius. He does this, and the defender kind of goes to sleep. He's just jogging forward. Nacer Villarreal has him cooked. If his teammate plays this ball back, Villarreal is in at an angle. This defender was fully snoozing because he was standing on the ball or thinking about anything other than actually defending him, which is kind of the point of talking trash in the first place. You are trying to get so in the head of your opponent that they are not able to focus on actually beating you. They're distracted and thinking about what you said or what you're doing, why he's standing on the ball, and less about the fact that Villarreal used this to set up a move. This is like Anthony's whirling dervish, but not the Manchester United version, the Real Betis version. Right? Like that's what this is. It's eye candy. It's a distraction. It's also showboating. But Emi Martinez didn't get a freaking yellow card for juggling the ball a little bit before he passed it away when they were up 3 goals against Brazil this, past Wednesday. They didn't give a yellow card for that because you don't give a yellow card for minor showboating, let alone give the yellow card in the middle of an attack. I mean, the point of a referee is to not be the focus of the game. I don't know what more you could do to be the focus of the game than this. This is crazy. I would love to hear the head of the Referees Association explain to me why this decision was made. Because this is putting yourself right in the center of it. This is, the argument, I'm sure, that if you went on one of those referee TV shows, right? If you go on one of those referee TV shows and you go, all right, we'll go to you first. What are your thoughts about this? And one of those TV shows where they always defend the ref's decision. That they would say, well, the referee's trying to diffuse the showboating before the situation gets out of hand. In my opinion, the exact opposite thing happens. If you watch the reaction of the other team after he stands in the ball, it is not one of, they're not incensed. They aren't. He stands in the ball for a second. There's nobody that's reacting in a way where they're running towards him to try. There's no reaction of even hey from any of the players. If it was clear that this was at the end of a long run of antagonizing actions where there's pushing and shoving and, hey, referee, what are you? There was none of that. Because they're not expecting the referee to stop an attack mid-play to hand out a card, even if they were frustrated. And then the referee stopping the play allows a giant fracas to break out. Because the referee has stopped the play to give out a yellow card for this incident. And now all of the guys on the other team, it's almost like when you have a toddler and the toddler trips and falls, right? And they don't know whether they're supposed to be hurt or not. So they look at you. And then if you look down and you go oh, that was funny, and you pick them up, they're fine. Right? But if you look down and you go, oh, are you okay? They'll start crying. That's what just happened. The referee shows up with the card. Sure, the guy was probably going to get stuck with a pretty stern challenge. And somebody was going to come up and have a word with him after the move. But it wouldn't have looked anything like this. But stopping the attack in the moment to treat this like it was something way worse than what it was, which was actually a pretty sick move to set up a goal-scoring opportunity for Villarreal, it turns into a melee. And they're just chasing this guy around. And clearly, I think the further evidence that he wasn't trying to antagonize the other team, he's not talking back. He's not in a pushing and shoving match. He's just trying to jog away from everybody. Now, obviously, some people would look at that and be like, yo, he's a bitch. He's running away from the fight. But I think it's clear that if he really was somebody that wanted to get stuck into this and start a little fracas, he'd at least be drawn back. He's just jogging away. And now we've got guys on his team defending him and guys on Santa Fe are trying to run him down. And this all is happening because the ref decided to stick his nose in where it didn't belong, where it should not have been. But back to the original point, I still think that this reaction is way over the top. That this overreaction from the defending team, from Independiente Santa Fe, makes basically no sense to me. Because if you're so annoyed by this, stop him. Don't be losing 2-0. Don't be in another area code when he receives the ball. If you don't want him to stand on the ball, fucking stop him. It's the same response that I have with Emi Martinez juggling the ball. Do you think you'd be doing that if you weren't getting smacked by 3 goals? Fix that part first. Right? Your ego should be bruised by the fact that you're losing 2-0, not by the fact that a dude stood on the ball. Because this is South America. People stand on balls and do rainbow flicks. People flop, and then people get in melees, right? It's all the beauty and the horror of football rolled into one fabulous continent. I'm not surprised that this happened. I'm just saying, my general approach to this is always, if you don't want them to do it, stop them. If you don't want them to do it, beat them. Like Turkey beat Hungary, and then you can just roll up and be like, wow, 6 goals wasn't enough to shut this guy up. Cool, done. Right, but I don't think this was a very antagonistic thing. I think the ref made it way worse, and I think it was all just a bit silly. And I wish more footballers would do something like this. It'd be hilarious to see like Tottenham beating Liverpool or something, and you just see Son just, juggling the ball in the corner while Andy Robertson jogs out towards him or whoever, right? Like that would be great. I want more of that in the game. I do.